Stefan Michnik is dead. He died a few days ago in Sweden. You may recognize Stefan of a center portrait in this photo of communist criminals in Poland. In this video, I will talk about Stefan Michnik's life and career, him fleeing to Sweden after the 1968 purges, Poland's multiple failed extradition requests, and finally, we will conclude with the obituary of his brother, the editor-in-chief of Poland's largest newspaper, that was published yesterday. Stefan was born in 1929 in a small town in what is now western Ukraine. He came from a family of communist activists whose status can be described as working intelligentsia. After the war, he completed an 8-month course in law to become a communist official. In 1950, he voluntarily became a secret informant of a security office, getting paid to inform on Polish people. Stefan quickly rose through the ranks, and by the age of 22, he became an assessor of the military courts. 2 weeks after taking office, he handed down his first life imprisonment. 6 months later, he was a judge in the staged trial of over 100 soldiers of a Polish army. As a result of his judgment, 20 Polish men were executed. Michnik quickly gained the reputation of one of the harshest Stalinist judges in communist Poland, showing no mercy and handing extreme punishments to those who expressed views unfavorable to the communist rulers. In his rulings, he wrote notes such as "the old enemy of a People's Republic of Poland," "he acted under the influence of hatred toward his homeland," or "he hideously betrayed his class." At a party conference, he even said, "We were easily adapted to the system, used as a tool of terror against innocent people." He was known for allowing torture against suspects and even participated in the executions. For example, Andrei Tchaikovsky in 1953. Andrei was a soldier in the Home Army who parachuted into the Warsaw Uprising and became a major of a Polish army. Stefan Michnik quickly rose through the ranks and joined the judging panel chaired by the infamous Helena Wolinska. However, communism was changing in Poland. Gomulka's thaw saw an end to Stalinist trials. Stefan was the youngest judge named in the Mazur Report of 1956, which concluded, quote, "The activities of some judges appeared to take on the characteristics of court murder." Stefan was transferred out and worked as the editor of a newspaper. In 1968, there was an anti-Semitic campaign in Poland. The majority of Jews left Poland. Stefan's one-time boss, Oskar Kerliner, fled to Israel. Helena Wolinska fled to England, where her husband found gainful employment at the University of Oxford as a professor of economics. Stefan, after being denied a U.S. visa, fled to Sweden. There he worked with Radio Free Europe and French-based newspaper, and also worked as a librarian. For many years he lived in peace in Sweden. The fall of communism didn't bother him at all. But in 2010, the Polish government issued an European arrest warrant for Stefan Michnik. Sweden, however, dismissed it on the ground that it was a long time ago, like of 2010. It happened in the 1950s. Why do you guys care? However, Stefan was charged with crimes against humanity, which are not subject to statutes of limitations under international law. The decision of a Swedish court was unlawful, and they had no legal grounds to deny the extradition. Poland would try again, issuing multiple arrest warrants. Sweden is bound by numerous international agreements obliging it to cooperate with Poland and other EU countries in activities involving criminal procedure. But Sweden never did anything, and unlawfully protected Michnik. The EU never helped Poland to make Sweden obey rule of law, or even chastised Sweden for breaking rule of law. Michnik never faced justice and never answered for many crimes against Poland and the Polish people. Stefan had a famous half-brother, Adam Michnik. They are related through their mother. Adam's father, however, was the first secretary of the Communist Party of Western Ukraine. Adam is an interesting person. He was a Marxist and a communist of a young man, but changed his views after 1968 and became an anti-communist. He is a longtime editor-in-chief of one of Poland's largest newspapers, Gazeta Wyborcza, which I will always point out is co-owned by a Manhattan-based NGO funded by Soros. Yesterday, Adam published a full-page obituary to his brother. "Kasha and all my relatives, I would like to express my sympathy. My brother suffered a lot because of me, though it is not my fault. Goodbye, Stefan." Stefan Michnik's death was trending in Poland yesterday. although most liberals aren't aware of his existence or his failed extradition. I saw an interesting tweet by Thomas Sumer. He asserts that the reason communist criminals like Stefan Michnik weren't prosecuted after the fall of communism in Poland is because the early leaders, like Lech Wałęsa, were dirty. There are allegations that Lech Wałęsa was a communist informant. Communists could have been using this as blackmail on him. He knew that they had it, and they never released it. He acted somewhat of controlled opposition. Let me know if you would like to know more about this theory. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Do widzenia.